Welcome back. As we promised, we are going to take a quick look at the tour of Prime Minister Dr. Mustafa Madbouli in Bani Suef, and particularly to Abu Radi Industrial Zone, where he visited a number of mega industrial projects, and he said that the state is keen to boost our industrial sector and to consider it as one of our drives to develop our economy. To shed more light on this, we are very much delighted to have with us via phone Engineer Mustafa Waly, former president of the Egyptian Industrial Federation. Thank you very much for being with us, Engineer Waly.
Thank you very much and good morning. And I would like to just make a little important correction. I was the general manager for some time in the Federation of Egyptian Industry.
Okay, sir. I beg your pardon, the general manager of the Industrial Federation. Sir, going to Bani Suef and to Abu Radi Industrial Zone, where Prime Minister Dr. Mustafa Madbouli had this inspection tour, he had a dialogue with many of the engineers on duty, even the workers and the CEOs of some of the mega projects. And he spoke also about the most important steps taken by the state to boost the industrial sector, as I said in my intro, as one of the drives to develop our economy. How do you see the state's keenness to renew this stance regarding our industrial sector, taking into consideration that localizing industry now is one of our priorities?
First of all, thank you very much for having me and talking about this very, very important and fantastic, project there in this area in Bani Suef, in this industrial area, which I was really lucky to witness it and be there some 13 years ago. And actually for also thinking of how to develop or to participate and help in developing the area by, promoting for some industries to be, some projects to be established there. However, this Samsung project is a really great one because we are talking about top of the art, state of the art production and very well established international entity in the business of the manufacture of smartphones and, the high tech, the brands of a lot of things in this field, which means that it's the most updated when it comes to the CIT, which is the communication and information technology sector, a very promising and very prospecting sector in economy and in industry at large. I wanted to emphasize this because this is really great. And to have Samsung, we have to mention name because the Prime Minister himself was there and inaugurating and following up and encouraging and even promising more encouragement to such companies to have a better situation in the market, especially in our area and in Africa at large. So it's really great to have this and success stories coming from the development. Now they are productions going to the smartphone production, the latest phases and the latest generation. And all this is very promising and very good for our economy, for our workforce, for everything which is positive and important for developing Egypt.
Yeah. Sir, this is in general. Let's go from the general to the specific. The President spoke with the top executives there about many points, and we are going to mention of them. Localizing industry, and in particular to increase the share of local components into our products. And he also said that there is a study where the state is keen to give more incentives to the companies which uses more local components in its production in a limited period of time. So how do you see this as one of our goals?
I see it as a great and very encouraging and very promising for more investment in Egypt at large, talking about, from general to specific. You know, because the general idea is that we are ready and we are accepting, we are welcoming, we are encouraging foreign direct investment, whatever is the situation, because we are capable of offering a very important and very intimidating, I mean, you know, attractive incentive
Yeah.
for such a big company.
Yeah.
We have a story, we have a case on the ground now, we can rely it in this very important sector, the CIT sector.
Yes, sir. In addition to the Egyptian private sector company, the Premier also visited a giant South Korean company located in Bani Suef, Abu Radi industrial zone, and he discussed with them all the challenges in front of them, all the obstacles on the way, and he promised that there are going to be all the time this very direct dialogue between the state and the top executives there to eliminate any hurdles on the ground. Before going into more details regarding this, how do you see the choice of Bani Suef, the South Korean giant, to choose Bani Suef to have their branch there, their company there? This means that we developed our infrastructure of Upper Egypt, that our industrial zones are scattered all over Egypt, not only in a certain area around the Suez Canal economic zone, for example, or in Alexandria or in big cities. No more centralization, and our industrial zones are ready to receive foreign direct investment in all sectors, in all domains. If you want to elaborate on that too.
I thank you very much for mentioning this issue. I mean, specifically talking about the geographical situation and Bani Suef and what. That's really very, very important to show to the people, to show to the world that. And it's proved by, for such a company with its history, with its, you know, very meticulous and very specific requirements in its production area and its production environment, and choose it there, and this since 2013. And they manage and they are successful and they are going more and more to invest. Now they reached more than 700 million US dollars. I mean, I want to confirm what your very, very important, you know, gesture and concerning this, the location of this. Exactly. This will prove, this is a real proof that Egypt now, as Egypt, to the best, they are trying to, we as people and leadership, trying to have it a very suitable place for development at large when it comes to industry, agriculture, you name it. So we have success stories outside the traditional areas. And when such a company with such a history and a presence in 14 countries all over the world, and to have this area, it means that this area is suitable to the finest quality of surroundings to have such products.
Yeah.
Thank you for mentioning it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And to add to what we have just said, it's not only to meet the local market's needs, it's not only to, and this is something which we are going to speak about later on, about giving thousands of job opportunities. It's also about turning Egypt into a hub of exporting our products, whether to Africa or to the whole world. How do you see turning Egypt into this hub and encouraging investors, whether local, Arab or foreign investors, to work on that?
Any success story on the ground, having all what we have been talking about, that immediately will bring to everyone who is keen about the products or what's coming of this area to think of it first, you know, because they know what is there, they have the quality product, they know about it. Then if we talk about regional, I mean, when it comes to Egypt, you know, we are here. I mean, the Egyptians, they have the market around. But if we look at large first area, the biggest area which we belong to, Africa, for example, then it means again that there is also a possibility and a very big possibility and success to be a hub for the top quality of engineering industries coming to CIT. I want to emphasize this because, of course, you know, those who are in this business all over the world, either names or companies or figures, they are the richest. I mean, the turnover of this business or of this industry at large is great, and it's becoming more and more important in the whole human life, anywhere in the world. So
yes,
if
sir.
we could be one of the hubs who can afford, who can get from it, if you say, of course, it will be known that this was made in Egypt. And of course, then there is a local content in this, you know. I tell you what, even if the local content is just the human and labor and those who are running the business, you know, the Egyptian people there.
Yes, amen to that. And the most important and the most successful investment we have is to invest in our youth, our human cadres. And this is going to lead me to another visit or another stop in the inspection tour of the Prime Minister, which was the technical village in Bani Suef, which includes two private sector companies specialized in outsourcing, and the headquarters of two universities, the Technological University and the Renaissance University. And this is to qualify our cadres, as you've kindly mentioned, to be able to run these projects and to maintain or to keep our resilience, our sustainability, to make sure that all our goals of sustainable development are going to be achieved on the ground. How do you see this visit to and the goals of establishing such entities?
I can put it in a nutshell, you know, in just few words, you know. That is the essence of sustainable development and progress in general. For all the breakdown of the elements and the issues which make it a success story. You're talking about, providing highest education available. You are providing, of course, first the youth, the people there, and also those who will teach them. And they have some references around them where they can have training there, because in these facilities, in these setups, whether it's for education or, for industry or for training, these all can get together to have fantastic, you'd say, grooming area for the best minds in the business and the best qualities of experience in such a business.
Taking care of the demographic side of the coin is very important, if you permit me to call it this way, Engineer Waly. When we do have universities where its graduates are going to work in the very same area, I mean, here I do have an industrial zone. I do have two technical universities and technological universities to make sure that I do have all the time graduates who are going to be able to run these projects. This is very important. And to add to this, also His Excellency Engineer Amr Talat, Minister of IT, spoke about the workshops and training programs offered by the ministry to make sure that all the cadres are totally qualified to practice their job and to fill any gap, if there is any gap, in activating those projects. How do you see all those elements together forming this symphony of success?
You mentioned symphony of success. I agree with you. It's no exaggeration, because it means it's getting to harmony to get to what you call, the highest level of, of satisfaction of everything, of getting the best out of everything, to get the best out of higher education, to get the best out even of secondary school and technical school education. And then you have it immediately around the corner. You can go and have practice. You have the summertime, training. You have special courses. Then if you get to higher to the university, it's there. And then, of course, there will be some grants from this, such companies I have seen and I know, I'm familiar with. They even give some grants, for the community. And that's great. You are actually touching very, very essential and very important points in this, which you call the big, big orchestration of developing a country.
Sir, right after this tour, Prime Minister Dr. Madbouli returned back to Cairo maybe in 1 hour or something, and he said it. And this is the importance of developing our infrastructure, our network of roads, access and bridges to make sure that we are saving time and we are guaranteeing safety and security of the passengers, everything. But he had this important speech in front of the Startups Summit, where he continued what he started earlier in the day, as he also spoke about the most important efforts exerted to help our startups, our SMEs, considering them as one of our drives to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals. How do you see this mix? In the morning, visiting mega projects, and just a few hours later speaking about startups and SMEs.
That, double the feeling of people like me and like you and all the Egyptians who love their country, double the joy of success, the joy of hope for better future for our country and for our people. Because I think we together, this is not private because it was all on your program. We talked about the startups and for some time, for many times, and you see the development of startups and the startups idea in Egypt. Now it's part of the cultural of the Egyptian youth now. Everybody thinking of having a startup. That's good, and actually it's taken care based on previous experience and developed experience so far in the world. Let's hope that we will be the hub of the most successful startup revolution in this area, because it is a real revolution. It turns out the status of the masses coming in its future, the youth.
Yeah. Sir, also the Premier spoke about a special unit which was established particularly to give consultations to startups, to new entrepreneurs, and to make sure that they are helped via the procedures to have their own, to legalize their conditions, to have their own businesses without any bureaucratic procedures, and to introduce, which is very important, financial and non-financial services, because it's not only about money, it's about innovative ideas, it's about thinking out of the box, it's about creativity. How do you see this also as efforts exerted to make sure that we are eliminating all hurdles on the ground and immediately, I mean, without having committees and without having bureaucratic procedures and stuff like that?
Yeah, that's great actually, because I feel it, I know because I witnessed, how it was, but the development in this direction. And also we were mentioning, the setups which will take care of this. Remember how it is how it is, put in the best performance and the formation. This issue of EBDA begin. Remember, we talked about it. It is related to this, with all the support behind it. But you mentioned also something very important. It is not only the issue of money, because as you mentioned correctly and absolutely correct, that it should be the idea, it should be the consistency, it could be those who will take the burden and the merits of the success of their project. These are actually when you can from the beginning help in making a success story from just an idea for a project. That's very important. And now I'm sure everybody's trying to help, and everybody's helping to the best when it comes to the institutions or even banks or some societies. That's really good.
Yeah.
We are Egypt was in the move, inshallah.
Inshallah. And sir, one final question about another point mentioned by the Prime Minister when he said that the state really believes in the importance of international cooperation. And he mentioned the coming conference, the EU-Egypt joint conference, which is going to be hosted by Cairo on the 29th and 30th of June, inshallah. And he said it like that. It's going to be a golden opportunity for all Egyptian entrepreneurs, for the new startups, for Egyptian businessmen in general, and this gathering is going to attract numerous and a large number of European entities, economic entities, and economic investment entities eager to benefit from the potentials we have in this regard. How do you see this point, sir?
I see it as another very pleasant event and very promising event to be done, especially with the EU. And now we have seen what is the EU for us, and concerning the latest development in our relation. And in this case, actually, and let me allow personally about myself, not in this sense, but I'm a member of the Egyptian-European Council, and that's very important business council talking about, increasing the capacity of cooperation in general on all levels, of course, including the development with the EU as a society. And when you have EU seriously in a project, in a march together towards achieving something, whether it's political or economic, then that's something good, because we are talking totally and wholly with European Union, with all its capacity, with all its important to us as their southern neighbor.
And we are important to them.
Another very promising event,
Yeah, of course there is a strategic partnership. We are important to them, and they are important to us. And inshallah, it's going to be a win-win situation in all domains. Well, Engineer Mustafa Waly, thank you very much for your input, sir, and have a very good day. Right after the short break, we are going to return back with more.